All right, so I had a bunch of accessories laying around, and I decided to put them all together to see if I could, build something unique, something cool. So I came up with a mobile desk setup that was powered by only one power cable.
7 points. Richard guarding Wiggins. Whips in the paint. Three-pointer missed it. Gets his own rebound.
All right, I'm gonna go over all the accessories that I selected for this setup, as well as a few other ones that, could be productive for anybody's desk setup out there. But let's not waste any more time and let's jump right into this video right here. So at number one, we've got the MagFit 10-in-1 dock plus stand combo. So this thing doubles as a stand and a hub, like a USB-C hub. Like say you have, a laptop and you're trying to add ports to it. There you use a USB-C hub. You can use the hub with pretty much any device that uses USB-C. I use it with my MacBook as well as the iPad. Now, as for the stand, it's only designed to work perfectly with iPads. So an iPad Pro, an iPad Air 5 or an iPad Air 4. The iPad stand portion can be rotated a full 360 degree and it's very powerful. Thing with that is when you're trying to attach your iPad to the stand, you gotta make sure that it's in right orientation. If it's not, you gotta rotate it another 180 degrees and then try again. Because if you don't have it, properly attached on there, it could damage your iPad. So usually you don't need a case to use your iPad with the stand, at least not with the iPad Air 5 that I was using when I used it. But you could also go ahead and pick up a case from MagFit, that's MagSafe compatible, and that will also work with the stand. It also works with Windows PCs. So say you have an iPad and you have a Windows PC, then you can use the iPad on the stand and you could use the hub connected to your Windows PC. Honestly, I think it's a pretty cool device and honestly worth it if you already have iPads or MacBooks and stuff like that. Those are very pricey, so this I don't think will be that expensive in comparison. As for the 10 different ports on the hub, we've got 2 USB 3.1 ports, we've got 1 USB 2.0 port, we've got 1 RJ45 Ethernet port, we've got a TF and an SD card port. We've also got an HDMI port that lets you, display up to 4K at 60 Hertz from your MacBook or from your iPad directly onto an external monitor. We've got a 3.5 millimeter audio jack and we've got 2 USB-C ports. One of those USB-C ports will provide input, so 100 watts of power to the device. That way you can charge your phone, charge your laptop directly using that hub. You power the hub with 1 USB cable and then you charge a bunch of devices. The second USB-C port is an output port and it allows you to connect, say the MacBook or your iPad directly to the hub. As for the way it's designed, it's got 2 hinges that allow for different kinds of rotation. That way you can kind of adjust your iPad to, fit for whatever kind of viewing angle you're looking for. It also makes using Apple Sidecar and Universal Control very, fluid. So it provides an extra screen just right there, like a stand for your second monitor is how you can see it. The product also comes with a flannel bag for bringing it around, and honestly, it's super easy to just fold it up, throw it in your bag, and just bring it around with you. And it's almost like the perfect device if you have an iPad and a MacBook or an iPad and a Windows laptop. You can power the MagFit 10-in-1 hub plus stand combo using your official iPad charger. And if you don't want to use that charger, or if you don't have that charger, then you want to use something that delivers at least 45 watts of power. Full disclaimer, the unit that I've got was provided by MagFit for review. So the next item on the list is the Vissles V84 Bluetooth mechanical keyboard. So this keyboard is pretty much a 75% 10 keyless mechanical keyboard with a hot swappable design. I've also found that it's a very good keyboard for both productivity and gaming setups. So if you're going to be typing a lot, it works very well. And if you're going to be gaming a lot, it also works very well from my experience. The keyboard can both be used in wired and Bluetooth mode. It's also compatible with a whole bunch of different OSs. So Mac OS, Windows, Linux, Android, and iOS. It even comes with some Windows keycaps so you can switch out keys like Command and replace them with Alt and make them more aligned with Windows PCs. So I'm used to being able to connect only 3 devices at the same time to my other keyboards, but this one comes with the ability to connect up to 5 devices. It also charges via USB-C cable and has a 3750 milliampere size battery. Based on my experience, because I've been using it for about a month now, and I haven't had to charge it even once. I'm pretty sure that's going to vary according to different people and different use cases. Just like with every mechanical keyboard, there's also different switches you can choose from. There's brown for tactile quiet, there's blue for clicky, and then there's red, which is for linear. Or you can even go for the one that was self-developed by Vissles themselves. So they've got their own pre-installed switch. It's the one that I've got, and I love how it sounds. For me, I find that it's closest to having a tactile quiet keyboard, with brown switches. The color of their switches comes in aqua blue. It's got a lot of other cool features like backlighting as well as macro setting. As for the weight, I found that it was a little bit heavier than I would have expected from, a 10 keyless keyboard, because I have other 10 keyless keyboard and this is the heaviest one that I've got. But it's still lightweight enough for you to bring around. One thing I didn't really like about the keyboard though is that it doesn't light up the keys. Like the backlight is only for underneath the keys as opposed to lighting up each individual key, like the letters on the keys, which, is just me nitpicking, but I like when the keys light up themselves. I love that the keyboard also comes with tools for switching out the keycaps as well as, a palm rest. It's not the highest quality palm rest, but it works. It looks okay and it gets the job done. When you're picking up the Vissles V84 keyboard, you can choose between having your keycaps as PBS white or ABS black. With the PBS white, you have a granular texture that allows you to avoid having a bunch of fingerprints sticking onto the keyboard or the keycaps. Just so you know as well, the keyboard was provided by Vissles for review. All right, so our next device is a power strip from Ugreen, and this is not just any power strip. It's a portable power strip. So you can bring this around with you while you're traveling. You can use it at your desk. You can use it in your living room where you only have one power outlet or whatever. So first off, the power strip can provide up to 100 watts of power. It's also got a 7-in-1 design. So 3 USB-C ports, 3 AC outlets, and 1 USB-A port. So you have different options for charging multiple devices like your phone, your iPad, your MacBook, as well as have a TV or a lamp connected to it at the same time. It's just like any other power strip you've got out there, except that it's portable and it's got, ports that most outlets would not have. Like most outlets will have regular USB-A ports and a bunch of AC outlets, and they're usually bulky and something you can't bring around. One really cool thing I love about this power strip is that it's got USB-C ports that are fast charge. The cable length is about 6 feet long, so it's very portable and easy to wrap around and just throw into a backpack and bring around to wherever you got to go. It's got overload, overcurrent, and grounded protection, as well as some, other kinds of protection to help keep you safe and your device safe at the same time. Okay, so the next accessory I'll be talking about here is the iSwift Pi. So the iSwift Pi is a pretty cool device that, allows you to prop up your laptop in different ways. It's pretty much a lap desk. Using the magnet and the origami style flaps, you can easily adjust between different positions. Like there's some for, sitting positions and there's some for standing. It's also super thin and lightweight, so you can easily bring it around, and it even comes with a bag, like a carrying bag. There's a Pi and there's a Pi Max. The Pi is the one that I've got, and it's the smaller of them. The Pi Max is a little larger and might work for, larger laptops. I've got a 16-inch MacBook, and honestly, it doesn't feel like it was designed for that. It feels like it was designed for like a 13-inch, MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. But yeah, it can also hold up to 44 pounds. I tested that using a 45-pound dumbbell. If you decide to use it as a lap desk, I'll let you guys know right now that unless, you have small thighs, you might struggle with having it around your legs. Like it's gonna feel like it's really tight and you can't move around underneath it. It's also made of some pretty soft touch PU leather that feels really nice and feels really premium. Okay, so for the next accessories here, we'll be talking about some phone stands. So these phone stands are all from Lamicall. So they sent them to me for review, and these are all budget items. I'm talking items between 10 to like 50 Canadian dollars. The first one is just a little piece of metal that has been shaped to be able to hold up your phone, and it's portable, it's minimal, not something that would look very conspicuous on your desk or take up a lot of space. There's also a little space in between underneath, like where you prop up your phone, where you can run like your charging cable so you can charge your phone while it's on there. The second phone stand is a foldable phone stand. Pretty much just prop your phone up on there, and just like with the last phone stand, there's also a little runway underneath, where you prop your phone up. for running the charging cable. The next phone stand kind of allows your phone to be propped up a lot higher than the last two. So it's pretty cool too, and you kind of just build it up or build it out. You know, they provide all these different pieces. And you could also adjust the phone stand, like the phone mount itself, up and down along the vertical axis. The next accessories up here are also from Lamicall. So these are still budget items as well, and they're called Gooseneck mounts. So they essentially attach to your desk the way a clamp would along the side of your desk. You can get one for your phone and one for your tablet. I find that these are great for creating space on your desk. You know, that way you don't have a stand just sitting there taking space. You just have your phone or your iPad, you know, just standing up there, and you can kind of pull it in, you know, when you want to use it, and pull it out when you're done with it. They also wobble a lot. Like, they wobble a lot. You can have your iPad or your phone kind of just shaking a bubble, you know, bubbling right there in mid-air. But it's not dangerous because, you know, the clamps are pretty solid. They have a pretty good system going on there. Just make sure your phone or your tablet is, you know, mounted on correctly and latched on tight before you let go. You know, because if you're shaking your table a lot and it falls and you break something, then, well, that's on you. They feel like what you would expect for what you pay for them. So really cool devices. All right, so next up, we've got my favorite mouse ever. So the MX Master 3S from Logitech. This mouse is probably the best productivity mouse that I've ever used. And I'm honestly saying this because this is based on experience. Like, I upgraded from the 3 to the 3S as soon as that came out. You can get the mouse in either black, pale gray, or in graphite. Well, of course I went for graphite because it's the closest to space gray. If you know anything about the original Logitech MX3, then this is pretty much a replica of that. So there's only a few differences they've made. There's no more clicking noise when you use the mouse. Another thing they did was improve tracking across different devices. So now you can get up to 8,000 DPI setup using the Logi Options Plus software. So if you're right-handed and you have like an average to a larger size palm, then you'll love the ergonomics of this mouse. But if you have small hands, you know, or you're left-handed, then you might not find that it's designed for you. With the MX3S, you've got 7 customizable buttons. You can pretty much customize them to different app-specific functions. Like, say within Final Cut Pro, you can have, you know, a certain button do one thing, you know, like back and forward to, you know, undo or to redo stuff. That way you don't have to, you know, do it directly off your keyboard. Another thing to note is that it's got a pretty cool thumb scroll wheel, which I personally use for video editing, you know, because it allows me to scroll along the timeline horizontally, so fast and easy. It's also got the famous max speed scroll wheel, which can go between ratchet and free spin mode. Ratchet mode is kind of like slower, you know, it's got like brakes. It feels like rougher, you know, but like with free spin, you kind of scroll and it just goes. Like, it spins in, you know, free spin mode, essentially. So underneath the mouse, there's 2 buttons. There's one for powering on the device, and there's one for switching between 3 paired devices. So you can pair up to 3 Bluetooth devices all at the same time and easily switch between them using that button. Logitech has also included the Bolt receiver with the MX3S, which is a device that allows you to connect any device that can pair with the Bolt receiver, any Logitech device, of course. So you can pretty much have like the MX Mechanical and say the MX3S both connected to one USB receiver, because the Bolt receiver is a USB device. And this device is supposed to replace a Bluetooth connection if you're not using that. The battery life is amazing as well. So next up, I've got Logitech's MX Mechanical keyboard. So there's 2 versions that comes in, the mini or the full set keyboard. I'm going to be talking about the full set keyboard. So the keyboard that also comes with a number pad. So I don't really know how many people use a number pad, but if you do use it for your job or you just like having a full set of keyboard, this one will probably come in handy. You will probably love this keyboard right here. It's got a 2-tone design, and I like how Logitech was playing with that, like a, you know, darker gray and a lighter gray, which kind of look cool together. So just like other mechanical keyboards, it also comes in 3 different options for switches. The keys have a really nice key travel, and they've got a matte finish. The MX Mechanical has also got a dual key layout for both Mac users as well as Windows users. So you don't have to switch out the keycaps like on the Vissles. One cool thing that I really love about it is the smart backlighting on the keyboard. So when your hands approach the keyboard, the backlight comes on. And when you back away from it, then it goes off. The keyboard also has an ambient sensor for sensing, the room lighting, and that way it adapts the keyboard's backlights to whatever the lighting is. If you want to adjust the brightness manually, you can also do that directly off of the keyboard. And just like with the MX3S, you can also program some keys to some certain app-specific functions, using the Logi Options Plus app again. Now, if you're familiar with Logitech Flow and if you've already started using it with older Logitech devices, then you'd be glad to know that with the MX Mechanical, you can also pull your keyboard now with your mouse. So of course, battery life is important on devices like this one right here. So I'll let you guys know right now that the battery life is amazing. I've been using this keyboard for almost 3 months now, and I love it. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna talk about are gliding wrist rests. So gliding wrist rests, they're a very unique desk accessory that can save you a lot of trouble now or in the future. Because if you have carpal tunnel, which affects, like your wrist, like it feels like it hurts. Let's say you work using your wrist a lot, like you're a typist, and your wrists are always in uncomfortable positions for long hours throughout the day. That could definitely lead to, having wrist pains and carpal tunnel and stuff like that. So what a gliding wrist rest does is it helps prevent that kind of injury, or even help you heal from it. It's like one of the cheapest accessories to get as well. I've got a couple from Delta Hub, but you can also buy them off Amazon, because I got my first one, which is pretty much generic, off Amazon, but they didn't have all the colors I wanted, so I decided to look outwards and see what else was out there, and that's when I found Delta Hub. The same level of effectiveness, in my honest opinion. You want to make sure that you're not resting your actual wrist on it, so you want to rest the base of your palm on it. That's how you really use it. It might also feel very weird to use the first time you use them, but you get used to them pretty quickly. At least I did. They glide across just about any surface. I tried them on cloth, felt, glass, wood, everything, and they just glide across any surface. If you guys are interested in picking up any of the accessories I've been talking about in this video, you can go ahead and do that by following the links down in the description below. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about these accessories and if any of them works for you. And if you have any other accessories that you guys already have or have experience with and want to share, down in the comment section is where you want to be. But thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure to turn on notifications by hitting the gold bell icon right next to it so you're notified whenever I post new videos. But that's it from me with this one right here. I'm gonna catch y'all in my next video. It's Tommy with Midas Tech, and I'm out, y'all.